defending, I think, is like.
Arsenal make Real Madrid midfielder Tchouameni their #1 target for 2024. If only I believed the headline, people. I think it's 100% BS. Real Madrid, are creating they are a prestigious club and they've always got a dynasty. But Jude Bellingham, Camavinga, Valverde, Rodrigo, Vinicius Jr., Endrick to arrive, Arda Güler, Jude Bellingham. The list goes on and they'll add to the list. Mbappe and or Haaland at some point will be there. Tchouameni's a fantastic player. Obviously, Arsenal have French ties. If Real Madrid are silly enough to make that mistake of selling us another midfielder, Odegaard's going from strength to strength, I'm all for it. Now, again, the dream is free. The hustle is sold separately, folks. But, these are the same people that said we're getting Mbappe as well. You never know. Anything can happen in life, people. But let's see exactly what is being said. Appreciative to all of you lot tuned in. Let's go over the latest Arsenal news, views, talking points and headlines. Smash the like button. Don't forget to comment any opinions you have throughout. As I said, of course, I would love Tchouameni. Imagine having Rice, developing as an 8, let alone a household name and one of the best in the world as a 6. Having Tchouameni, a player I've done a video on years ago and said we should have bought him at Bordeaux. I always cry and waffle on my YouTube channel. My regular supporters, big up yourselves. You will know I always say we need a midfielder. Ironically, I've done a video in relation to Thomas Partey and indirectly the midfield. So make sure your notification bells are on and you're subscribed because that's due to land very soon. But for what it's worth, Arsenal earmarked Real Madrid midfielder Tchouameni as their #1 midfield target in the summer transfer window to partner new recent signing Declan Rice. Football Transfers has been told. Allegedly, Arteta wants the 23-year-old French international to play in the 6th role, thus making Rice keep developing as an 8 and fill the void left with Granit Xhaka. So what would that mean for 65 million Kai Havertz, £1 million Kai Havertz, who can play as an 8? Probably, his best football in an Arsenal shirt has been as a false 9 and play everywhere because we spent close to 200 million on Declan Rice and Havertz initially played in the Xhaka role. Of course, we need all different sort of options. And as we know, Partey, El Nene, Jorginho, they're all on the wrong side of 30 and their contracts haven't got a long time to go. Declan Rice is the only man that plays in the pivot. Of course, Odegaard, Smith Rowe, Kai Havertz, Vieira, if I haven't said it, they can all technically play in the left 8 or actually in the pivot and with Declan Rice. But in terms of genuine central midfield options, only Declan Rice has a certain sort of quality. And to be fair, Partey has the quality, but unlike him, Declan Rice is ever present. You never have to worry about getting injuries and things like that. I hope that doesn't come back to bite me. With Thomas Partey unlikely to be signing a new contract and Jorginho now approaching 32, Arsenal are looking to bring in someone who is more reliable, considerably younger, and has experience playing in big game. Sources close to Arsenal have also told us that Tchouameni playing in front of fellow Frenchmen and international teammate Saliba is another reason why Arteta wants to bring the midfielder across the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium to the Emirates. Not sure on the relevance of that. Yeah, they're both French and they're both quality players. And I'm obviously, in the same way when we're trying to get Declan Rice at the club, us having Ramsdale, Saka, Benjamin White, Smith Rowe, England internationals or players capped by England, it adds to the cherry of it. And I'm sure Tchouameni would listen. If Real Madrid say you have to go, then you have to go. I'm sure he would listen. You can see what Arteta is developing, the lore of the Premier League, the historical French ties, and obviously how Arteta has developed players. But he's just basically got his feet wet at Real Madrid. And as I said, if they want to move you on and to do what they're doing, that's another thing. But it wouldn't make sense. We have also been told that there was contact between Arsenal and Madrid in the summer when the Premier League club were given an answer of not for sale. We understand, though, no deal managed to take place then. Arteta wants to go back in for Tchouameni at the end of the 2023-24 season. After talking to sources in Spain, we understand that this deal will be a difficult one, you reckon, to get done, but not impossible. You're going to probably have to spend a similar fee to Declan Rice or probably more. He's under contract and they spent big money to buy him from Monaco. The Spanish Giants are planning on spending big in the summer and therefore will also need to keep in line with FFP regulations. So maybe it's a case of getting 2 and 2 and making 4. I would love Tchouameni. This article has also said Arsenal still have an interest in Real Sociedad midfielder Tchouameni, who's being eyed by Manchester United people. So not quite sure what to make of that. For what it's worth, should we see if there's any other bits and pieces on this, on this people? Not quite sure, really. Arsenal one Serie A wonder kid signs anti-Arsenal contract. As you know, Mikel Kanyonde, I can't pronounce his name. The 19-year-old is playing for Fiorentina at the moment and playing at right back, filling the void left with Dodo. He's drawing interest. The Italian under 21 international from several clubs, people. So that's probably where that comes from. I'm not going to really waste time on such people. On the 25th, which was yesterday, Arsenal and Liverpool to rival Arsenal for 50 million euro La Liga star. Is this relation to Tchouameni? No, it's his teammate Robin Lenormand, who again we were linked with. The 26-year-old has a 50-odd million release clause. Ornstein said we're looking for a left-sided centre back. We seem to, and I know they're not left-sided, but we seem to be linked with Mark Gurhey, Diamande of Sporting, and a couple of centre backs. So I would say there's no smoke without fire. Potentially there's an interest. I don't know if there's an ever-growing need for Arsenal to buy him or spend 50 million on a centre back now. Of course, he's 26. He's a Spanish international. There's a lot of quality he can bring to the table, but you've got Saliba and Gabriel. You've just brought in Kirill. You've got Tomiyasu Timber and Benjamin White. Surely it would make case of bringing in the cheaper option, because I can't see 50 million on that. For example, if you're going for Ivan Toney from 65 all the way to 80 million, Pedro Neto 1 minute is Arsenal value him at 40 million. Wolves are saying 70. Surely it makes sense to put more significant funds in other areas of the pitch. Now, at the end of the day, if Arteta wants him, there's an asking price. And, you know, if he can make us a better team and more competitive and have more options, nobody's against that. But surely it makes sense to put more resources into central midfield, into right wing, and potentially up front, people. So I'm going to leave that there. But it's no surprise he's drawn interest from Arsenal. We're linked with him in the summer. Man United and Liverpool potentially could do with another centre-half. Brentford have set shockingly low Ivan Toney asking price, with Chelsea and Arsenal set for striker transfer tussle, people. He consistently is linked with a move away from Brentford. As you know, his contract's running down. He's changed agents, and he'll probably be one to watch, or someone's name that will constantly be in articles during the January period. What specifically is the asking price, people? We all know Ivan Toney, 27 years of age, has had the betting issues. 65 million. I wouldn't say that's low at all. I know he's a fairly established Premier League player, as he's shown since Brentford have come back into the league. Obviously, you know, he's got 18 months on his deal, and he is an England international now. But 65 million is a bit crazy, but it is doable. He's contracted until 2025. So in the summer, Brentford have a decision to make if they have not made one already. Again, he's someone that's consistently linked with Arsenal. He's been linked with Man United, but Arsenal, Spurs, and Chelsea really. And I think, you know, the two other London clubs probably have more of a pressing need to sign a striker than us. Not saying I don't want a striker, or a striker shouldn't be considered a priority, but there's evidently for as good as Spurs have been this season, there's clearly a void left with Harry Kane, really. You know, Son could play up there, Richarlison could play up there, but they ain't really got an out-and-out man. They've actually been linked with Feyenoord's Jimenez as well, people. The Mexican who bagged again in the Champions League and has been linked with Arsenal. Chelsea, I know they've got Broja and a bunch of people in Concu and a bunch of players who could play up there. Technically under contract, they've got Lukaku. They're probably going to force the boat out. You know, there's actually rumors Tammy Abraham's going to leave Roma at the end of the season. So I'm waiting for us to be relinked with him, people. So we'll have to see exactly what's going on there, man. But let's not waste time. I was reading that in relation to Sancho. Apparently, Ajax are hoping to appoint Arsenal assistant manager Albert Stenberg as their new head coach. It'd be a fantastic opportunity for him at a fantastic club. Of course, I wouldn't want to see him leave midway through a season. Obviously, as an Arsenal fan, we're not privy to seeing the inner ins and outs of a football club. You know, Arteta's the face of it. But Arteta needs his coaches. Again, if Arteta, for example, if there's a training session going on at London Coley, you know, and Arteta says, do you know what, I want to work on this with Saka. Someone has to look after the bulk of the squad. And as you've seen, we've got performance coaches, individual analysis. You know, it's very much in the same way you see an 11 on the pitch. Arteta has his own team, and you know they've known each other since the days they were getting their professional license. It would be a shame to lose him, and he's earned a bit of cult hero status at Arsenal, people. Obviously with the earpods and earpieces and things. And technically, I'm sure there was a game Mikel Arteta either got suspended or was ill or something, and he stepped in. Couldn't begrudge him if he's got his own managerial ambitions, a bit like Jack Wilshere, but we'll have to see. Obviously, Ajax are in disarray at this moment in time. So it's according to reports. Apparently, Louis van Gaal has earmarked him to take over the role, people. They were also linked with the assistant manager at Manchester United, but apparently he's turned that down. It'd be a shame to lose him since 2019, because he's been here since 2019. It's not known if Stuvenberg has any interest in the Ajax job, but it can be certain that Arteta will not want to lose a key member of his coaching staff, especially with their chances of winning League. I think they mean the league, the best they've been the best they've been for many years. I'm not sure, man, because that was said last year. We'll have to see, people. So who knows, really? But because of the Dutch ties, maybe that's where the link comes from. Koza Jubri, Amario Koza Jubri. Apparently, Arsenal are entering talks to commit the talented young winger to a new deal, people. I don't think it's helpful that he is compared to Bukayo Saka, because I don't agree with that at all, people. But he's a very talented player, and obviously he's been around the first team for a while. We just need to take our time with the 18-year-old. Hopefully we can commit him. Hopefully there's a pathway for him, people. And it's lovely to see, really and truly. Deserves it. Hopefully he can make his professional debut sooner rather than later for Arsenal Football Club. After tying down Ethan, it would be lovely to keep another talented boy. You know, you look at Miles Lewis-Skelly, you look at Ethan, you look at Koza Jubri, Charlie Patino. Those are four that I'm sure a lot of us Arsenal fans hope can make the grade, people. We've been linked with Andre Trindade of Fluminense, who was linked with Liverpool in the summer. I personally think Liverpool have done the groundwork and they will sign him. You know, it seems like there's a spot for you. There is a void left by Fabinho, right, for you to tie in with McAllister, Szoboszlai and Gravenberch. But if we could get a centre mid in January, which I really am vocal on, I'd love it. Arsenal tipped to beat Liverpool to €40 million key January target for 3 reasons after hijack reveal. Let's see what this is exactly saying. Who is this, people? The president of Fluminense previously said, Liverpool's chief executive contacted me directly. I replied to him, my friend, I don't sell players now and I don't deliver them now. If you want to buy now and only get the player in January, we can start talking. Or if you want to wait until December, we can talk in December. There's an agreement between us with the player and agent that he would stay until the end of the year, obviously, because in Brazil, they're competing for whatever they're competing with. They, in brackets, player and agent, have complied fully and with the utmost peace of mind. Every interest that comes in, they communicate it with Fluminense. So what are the reasons? It just seems like clickbait, really and truly. We'll have to see exactly what's going on there, people. I don't really care what a Bonglahore's got to say, because I don't know respectfully how he's relevant to what Arsenal are doing, people. But for what it's worth, Football Insider dropped a hijack reveal with Arsenal being in a position to step up their interest in Andre if they are able to move first teamers on in January. It's believed the likes of Jorginho and Partey are subject of interest and could move on mid-season, which, big up Andre, but it wouldn't make sense to let Jorginho and Partey go just to bring this guy in, because you do have to give an adaptation period and things like that. And we're tearing up our team mid-season. If anything, as much as, you know, if you can bring in certain players, I'm all for it and replace them. But where's Jorginho, Partey, Smith Rowe, Ramsdale, for example, 4 players or however many I said are forever linked with moves away from the club, you know, in terms of a permanent capacity, in terms of remaining to have the squad to compete on all fronts, you lot can do your thing in the summer. Right now, you're here until then, really and truly. And we've already seen, literally from the first game of the season, we've had to cope with injuries, you know, injuries, loss of form, changing dynamics, different game demands. We need a squad, people. So we'll have to see, people. But we're now getting to silly season. Really, we've been linked with Tchouameni and Tchouameni, as we've previously said. I'm not going to bore you lot by reading the same things, but every day that goes past, Tchouameni is linked with another club, and he did well in the recent Champions League game. Big up Tomiyasu, is the man of the moment at Arsenal. Fabrizio Romano has said, Tomiyasu is another player earning praise for his recent performances, and although I don't currently have any information on the possibility of a new contract, Arsenal are very happy with his performances. I can also reveal that Inter Milan, having played in Italy before, wanted him in July, but Arsenal said no. Mikel Arteta and Edu wanted to keep him, and it was clearly a successful decision. He's really appreciated at the club, and he's showing his value and versatility at the moment. Amen. Now, you know, he's not the only fullback in talks for a new deal. Allegedly, Benjamin White is the next one to sign a new deal. Chris Wheatley has been speaking, as you can see, in relation to Timber's injury. He'll be hoping to come back sooner rather than later. January is a possibility. He is pushing to get back fighting fit. He won't be rushed by Arsenal's medical staff. They'll bring him back in good time, but January is a possibility for his return to light training. We'll be out watching and hoping he's back soon. And I think where you look at William Saliba, where you look at Partey currently, and there's definitely another one, Gabriel Jesus, Arsenal have been taking their time with reintroducing players, man. So it is what it is in that regards. As I said, Benjamin White's in talks for new deals. I'm trying to find the article, but I can't at this moment. That's in relation to Ramsdale that I was reading. Speaking of Jesus, Gabriel Jesus will undergo a scan on Thursday as Arsenal seek to learn the extent of his hamstring injury. So you'd imagine he's had it already. Mikel Arteta is obviously going to be asked in his pre-Arsenal Sheffield United press conference. And why Arteta has shown he's not going to give it. He doesn't give anything away in relation to players' fitness. We're hoping for the best. You know, Gabriel Jesus seemed quite upbeat when discussing his injury and coming off, but we got to remember he's a footballer and not a physio. And the man himself said, I felt something. Let's see. I did some tests with the physio. It looks not that big of an issue, but let's see. I'll have a scan maybe tomorrow or the day after. Let's see how it is, but I'm pretty sure it'll be nothing. So hopefully, you know, there's 2 scans really, one on a Friday as well, people. We've discussed that already. We've discussed Ivan Toney. Arsenal have signed another player from West Ham. We've signed Bowen Phillips, people. I've never seen him play. He's an under 15s player. He's allegedly left West Ham and signed for us at under 15s level. You'd imagine he's being, you know, you'd imagine he's kind of been guaranteed a scholarship, people, for when he turns as an under 18. So he's probably signed a 2-year schoolboy, and there could be a decision. Big him up. Obviously, at under 15, under 16, there has to be, you know, we could just sign him so we have a competitive squad. But at the same time, there has to be an eye on, you know, young players who are going to become essentially full-time players and train and play at London Coley on a full-time basis with aspirations of signing a pro deal. I mean, never seen him play. Wish him all the best and welcome to the football club, people. But on that note, there really isn't anything else to discuss or discover. Let me know your thoughts on everything we've discussed. Smash the like button and thank you for tuning in once again.
There's always just that active red light defenders. I think it's like